Good morning, YouTube family. It's Seeing Less of Me. It's Michelle. How are you today? Today is Sunday, October 6th, and the time is approximately 8:45 a.m. Wanted to chat with you to let you know the happenings of the week. So on Monday, September 30th, I had my endoscopy done. My appointment was, I was to arrive at 10 a.m. I got there at 10 minutes to 10. I was taken back by 10:05, 10:10. The nurse just double checked all of my information. She took my blood pressure. She took my temperature. We did a urine test. What else did we do? And then she informed me that I needed to change my clothes. Everything from the waist up needed to be off. And I had to take my shoes off and put on, the non-skid sole slippers. So I did that. And then she tried to start the IV, and they want to put the IV in your hand, but they couldn't. She couldn't get the vein in the hand, so then she tried in the arm. She did that twice, couldn't get the vein, and then called someone else in, which was great because after being stuck 3 times, you don't really want to be stuck anymore. So she brought someone else in. The woman, first time she stuck me, she got the vein, and then I sat and waited for a minute. Probably 5 or 10 minutes. The anesthesiologist came in and asked me questions. Do I have any issues with anesthesia? What surgeries have I had? This type of thing. And then he left, and I waited probably another 5 minutes, and then another woman came in, and she introduced herself, and she was from the anesthesia department. And I thought, oh, she's just going to review my information again, and she did. And then she said, "You ready to roll?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we left. But let me just tell you, which I thought was great, I asked my nurse, did I need to bring my own gown, because I purchased my own gown from amplestuff.com a few years back, because of course when you go for your mammograms and anything else, the gowns don't fit, right? So I purchased one, and she was like, "No, we totally understand. We have gowns that fit," and they actually did. The gown fit with room to spare, so that was good. So here we go, sauntering on down to the operating room. We're walking. We get in the room, and there are about 3 people in the room. But let me tell you, the questions are coming at you like this, because it's, what is your name? What is your date of birth? Why are you here? What are you having done? Why are you having this done? I need you to sit here. I need you to turn here. I need you to da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so we got through all of that. But I tell you, it was like being attacked. And I understand, because this one person is charged with doing this. This other person is charged with doing that. You got the anesthesiologist, putting probes all on you so, they can monitor you during your procedure. But when you first walk in, it could be very, very overwhelming. Now, that was the case for me. I'm not certain what happens with other people, but that was the case for me. So I kind of suspect when it's time to go for the actual surgery, it's going to be a similar thing. So I already know what to be prepared for, because these women were hitting me hard, not physically, you understand, but yeah, it was a bit like, oh my gosh, too much at one time. And then oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Then I had to gargle with this awful tasting stuff, and she was like, "Oh, you only have to gargle for like 10 minutes," but I gargled with it for like 10 seconds. I had to gargle for 10 seconds. But I gargled with this stuff for about 30 seconds. And then, okay, we want you to lie on the bed and turn to your side, to my left side. And so I did that. In walks Dr. G. They just want to confirm again what I'm having done, who's doing it, why we're doing it, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, I roll over. They start the anesthesia, but I have a kink in my line, right? Because they prefer to put the thing in your hand, but it wouldn't go. So they put it in my arm here, and my arm was bent, so I wasn't receiving the anesthesia. Now, the other thing is they put this mouth guard. It's about this round. It's got a hole in the center that protects your teeth. So and then the scope goes down. Well, he's standing there with this thing in his hand, and in my mind, I'm thinking, you're not going to do this before I go to sleep, right? Because I can't handle that. And he's saying, how long? And I hear the anesthesiologist say, 1 minute. And then she says, take deep breaths. And then I did. I took like 4 deep breaths, and I was feeling a little loopy. And then I did the 100, 99, 98, 97, and I was out. 97. I can't ever seem to get past 97. And the next, I was dreaming of this great beach vacation. It was magnificent. And then I swear to you, the next thing I knew, I heard my ER nurse saying, she had this, she had that, she had the other thing. She was out for this amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Doctor came over and said, you're fine, you have no issues. She came over, my recovery nurse at this point has come over, and, she's checking my stats, and within a half hour, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, she said, are you ready to go home? I was like, yeah. And she called from my husband. We walked to the front door. She got me in the car, and I was out. While I was there, I had a little ginger ale. And on the way home, all I wanted was cozy tomato soup. Now, I know it's not the healthiest choice because it's full of fat, but it was delicious. And when you haven't eaten and you haven't had anything to drink. So all I wanted was a cozy tomato soup. Stopped on the way home to get cozy tomato soup. Had that with probably half the bread. Came home, stepped out of my clothing, and went to bed. I mean straight, you understand me? And then probably slept for about an hour and a half. Got up and then still went to bed my regular time, which is 9:30, and slept not through the night, but I slept well. So no issues with that. Just had not a scratchy throat, no pain in the throat, just a type of thing, but nothing, no issues. So that was really good. So I got up. I was like, oh, let me make sure the discharge instructions that I heard were the actual discharge instructions that I received. I'll tell you, I opened this envelope, and I left it in the bedroom. But there was a thank you card from the entire staff of the surgical center. How nice was that? From the 2 ER nurses that were in there. I don't know who the other guy was. Maybe, I don't know. But the ER nurses, the woman that actually took me back, Carol, to my recovery nurse, all of theirs, it was a thank you card. Thank you for letting us care for you during your procedure. I was like, oh, that's really sweet. I know but it was still sweet. It was sweet. Y'all know it was sweet. The next day, the surgical center called to make sure I wasn't having any issues and that I was okay. No fever, none of that. I was cool. They were cool. We moved on with our lives. It was great. Now we're going to fast forward a couple of days to Friday, October the 4th. I had my sleep study. I arrived at the hospital. I wasn't supposed to be there till 9. Of course, I got there at 8. Mr. Seeinglessofme and I had went and had a bite to eat for dinner. And got there at 8. No one came in till around 8:30. The staff didn't arrive till about 8:30. And they, set me in the room. And it was, it's a hospital room, but it looked like a nice, somebody's house guest room. It was nice. Queen size. Doesn't matter. Full queen. Wasn't a twin. I'll tell you that. It wasn't a twin. So it was between a full and a queen. Bed. Sleep number bed. which was awesome. The only thing that would have made it more awesome if it was a Sleep Number adjustable bed. That would have been fantastic. And TV with remote. So the guy's name was the man's name was Peter, but the whole night I called the man Philip. I didn't realize that the man's name, I called the man Peter, but the man's name is Philip. I didn't realize that the man's name was Philip until the morning when he was disconnecting all of this stuff. Child, I'm a hot mess. So now we call him Peter Phillips in my house because we're silly like that. Anyway, it took him approximately 30 minutes to hook up all of these probes. Now let me tell you, the probes are everywhere. They're here. They're all down your scalp. They're behind your ears. They're across your chin. You've got oxygen. They've got the EKG things on your chest. And they have 2 on each leg. And I mean, when I tell you you're wired for sound, I mean you are wired for sound. Do you understand me? So, no, it didn't hurt. No pain, none of that. And it wasn't, I wasn't miserable. But of course, I don't understand how they think you're going to really get any sleep when you can't sleep the way you usually sleep, because I'm a stomach sleeper. I can't lay on my stomach because I've got all these wires and things. You're not in your own bed, the whole nine. But you get what you get. So he explained that they can give you something to help you sleep if you want it. I'm not a fan of those things. I don't like the way they make me feel in the morning. So I elected not to have it. Well, he said, I'm going to order it anyway. Okay, you do what you got to do. I'm not going to take it, but you do what you got to do. And I go through, I go to bed. So by this time, Blue Bloods is on. So it's 10-something, 10:15 or so. But I'm tired because I go to bed at 9:30. It's been a long day. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. You understand. And I try to drift off to sleep. So then he tells me, well, try laying on your back since you're not asleep yet. And there's no clock in the room. And they do that purposefully. There's no clock in the room. You have to turn all of your electronic devices off. So no cell phone, no iPad, no tablets, none of that. Alright, cool. And of course they've got you monitored. So there's the infrared cameras, etc. And I do realize at some point I drift off to sleep. So he did say if I wind up having apnea, he will come in the middle of the night around 1 o'clock and fit me with a mask. So at one point it was so cold, I asked Peter Phillip for another blanket. And then he turned up the air conditioner because I was cold. So he made the temperature 78. Well, then I get too warm. So I asked Peter Phillip to turn the air back down. But he was fine. He was awesome. He came in. He did anything, anything that you need. All you have to do is holler and they'll assist you. The next thing I know, I am in REM sleep. I mean, I'm getting it in. And I hear this crinkling sound. And I was like, oh, Peter, do you need me? And he said, good morning, Michelle. It is 5:45. It's time to get up. And I said, is it really? He said, yes, I'll be in a few moments to disassemble you. But we're going to do the test that we did before you went to sleep, which is you look to the left, you look to the right, because they want to make sure that the probes here are actually working. You look up, you look down. You say E, you cough, you turn your head to the right, to the left, you flex your right foot and your left foot, and that was that. I washed up, did a questionnaire, how do you feel? How did you feel last night? When you arrived, you do that questionnaire. How was your day? How did you sleep? Do the questionnaire again. Is there anything that we could do to make your stay more comfortable? And I would hear in 2 weeks about the results of the test. So while he didn't come in the middle of the night to give me the mask, that still doesn't mean that I don't have sleep apnea. It just means it wasn't severe enough to warrant coming in. So that was the week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm actually a candidate. Here we go again at 15 minutes. I'm at my limit. Have a great week. I intend to have a great week on purpose. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care, you two family. Bye.